So right now I'm in the biomechanics lab at SUNY Brockport, and this is the fabled ACES machine. It's a multi-joint isokinetic dynamometer, and a mouthful. And unless you're into exercise science, then you probably don't know what that means. So let's break it down. Multi-joint obviously means that multiple joints are being used. So as you can see in, say, my squats, the ankles, knees, and hip joints are all being used. So that's where you get multi-joint from. That's easy enough. And an isokinetic contraction is a type of muscular contraction that stays at the same velocity throughout the entire range of motion. So if I barely push the bar up, or if I exert a maximal effort, the ACES machine will still go up at the same speed. So with free weights, you have the concentric phase, which is where you're fighting against gravity to lift a weight, and the eccentric phase, where you're lowering the weight with gravity's assistance. So traditional weight training is weight and gravity based, whereas this machine is all speed based. And it's actually hooked up to a computer, and that's why I keep looking over to the right to see when I can start the next set. And once it's ready, I just move the bar up and then down, and then wait 5 seconds to hear the first beep, and each beep after that is telling me that I have reached the prescribed range of motion. So the higher pitched beeps are what you want to hear, and the lower pitched beeps mean that you've exerted a very small force, which is not what you want to hear. You want to hear high pitched beeps because that means that you exert a very high force. So that's what you want. So the computer is where dynamometer comes in, and a dynamometer is any instrument that's used to measure mechanical forces. So the computer reads my force output and exerts just the right amount of force against me to raise the bar at its predetermined speed. So what I'm doing is called speed sets, and it's very fast paced, as you can tell, and it's got minimal resistance, which is why it's so fast. So the slower you go, the more resistance there is. So typically with this sort of training, you do everything very fast, and you do it with as short of rest as possible. And if you want to slow the speed of the ACES down, that would mean that you would have to exert a maximal amount of force through a longer period of time to reach the same range of motion. But you would need a longer rest period. And I just started training on the ACES a few weeks ago, so I've just started with speed sets. So maybe next semester I'll see if I can decrease the speed a little bit, and it would be, pretty similar to the sort of periodization you would expect from any sort of track athlete. The closer you get to the goal race, the more the intensity ramps up and the volume goes down. And hopefully next time when I have an ACES Workout Wednesday video, I will have an interview with my professor who runs the biomechanics lab, and he can hopefully explain things even better, and he actually explain why it's more beneficial for someone with peripheral nerve damage to do isokinetic training versus traditional concentric and eccentric training. Not that that's a bad thing, I do both, but anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this Workout Wednesday video, and I hope to see you next time.